Hey guys, I'm Brian.
And I'm Terry.
And welcome back to the Forest to Farm Project. Today we're doing more than cutting trees and moving dirt. We're working towards putting concrete in.
And driving these grade stakes.
Yes, we
Definitely.
are. It's going to be great. We are using half-inch rebar, and we're just putting one of these in every corner and every intersection, and then between those points on corners or intersections or whatever, we're doing roughly 6 feet apart depending on what our spacing is, what it allows.
Yeah, and we're using our transit again, and we'll show you that in a bit, and getting these things all to the exact same height at whatever particular level we're at, and then driving them down to their precisely the same height.
That way when we rake across with a rake to level it out, when we scrape across the top of this rebar, we're at the proper level.
Yeah. And we'll mark the ground where these are at so that we can find them when we want to see are we right at the right level. We'll look on that mark that crosses the hole.
We'll spray paint across the dirt next to it on either side. That way we can always find the location of where these are, no matter if they're covered up or not.
Yeah, just tap and say, okay, we're good, or we're a little bit high, drag it down.
Yep.
You'll know if you're low because you'll see the stake.
Yeah, exactly. So that's enough yapping. Let's show you how we're doing this.
Do it. All right, we've already got these stakes laid out. We measured from one corner to the next, and we dropped every 6 feet. It was actually a little bit less than 6 feet. When we measured it, it came out less than a 6 foot increment. So we divided it up to where we got equal spacing. 5, 6 feet somewhere in there is good. You just want to get somewhere where you can find what level you are within 6 feet or less, I'd say. We started out, we'd come in here and I'd start these things in the ground and I'd get them down a ways to where I felt like I was a good ways above. I didn't want to go too low because then if you pull it up, you're going to have it loose and it's going to drop back down in a hole. So you want to try and get to the point you want it to be and stop. Well, Brian had put the transit stick on here, and he'd say, you're still high, and I'd tap it down a little. Still high, tap it down a little. And man, we went forever. So, Brian, bring that over here if you would. So he keeps it level up there. I slide this down, and that is about 11 3/4. So now, on my stick rule here, so now I can look at my stake and just keep driving it down until I'm really close. I might stop at 12 or just a little under, knowing that 11 3/4 is about the right height. Now I'm not tapping it down for 3 or 4 inches until we get there. Now I'm tapping it down a 1/4 inch or something. So it goes so much faster. A little high?
A little high still. A little high, just a little bit. We are spot on.
On the money, and there you have it. Man, that saves so much time. That stick rule, just hold it up there, bang, 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 I'm close. We'll go with it. Okay, that one's only about 9 1/4.
Okay, a little more. Hold on. That is on.
All right.
And guys, one thing I want to mention, when you're using one of these grade stakes with the transit, a big thing to remember is when you set this thing on the ground, this thing never touches the ground with the bottom. I'll always set it on my boot. And the reason is you will pick up debris, especially if it's wet out, and any moisture is going to gather dirt and debris and whatnot. And you don't think about it, but you're adding millimeters to your height, which over time, the more you build up, before you know it, if it's a really wet day, you can have a 1/2 inch of mud stuck to the bottom of the stick and not know it.
You can stick it down one time. If it's red clay, it'll stick on there and be a big old clump.
So you'll have a pile of mud throwing off all your measurements. So this thing never touches the ground. It only touches the top of my boot. And also when you're doing this, you've always got to make sure to check your bubble level up top when you're checking the level down here, because if I lean it a little bit one way or the other, it thinks it's further or closer, which means it's higher or lower.
Yeah, because you're tilting it downhill.
Yeah.
And
makes a big difference. If I'm tilting too far, it throws it completely off. So you've got to make sure that bubble is dead center.
We had a couple stakes that were like a ½ inch off, and apparently we were both tired. It was hot that day, and you were probably leaning and weren't looking at the bubble. And then we came back. We're like, crap, we got to pull these out of the ground and start over.
So always make sure your bubble level is centered.
Yeah.
All right, let's get another one in.
All right. Well, that's all there is to it. It's not rocket science. You know, you're just trying to get a fairly level concrete.
Yeah.
It's not got to be perfect. I mean, the brick masons are going to put mortar and it's going to adjust, but you want to get it close.
Yeah.
Having this stick rule really sped things up.
It really expedited the process.
Each stake, I would say a quarter of the time or less, because once you figure out what that depth is, then you can just drive that stake and watch that rule, and when it gets close, you stop.
We don't have to check every couple inches when he's 2 or 3 inches high. He knows exactly within a ½ inch where to go.
Yeah, and if you think, well, I can just drive it down some if I know it's a lot, well, it don't work out that way.
We tried that a few times, and we overshot it and had to pull the stakes.
Yeah, well, someone who does it a lot probably, you know. Another good thing, I was on my knees driving them stakes.
I kept telling him, get the knee pad, get the knee pad. He's like, I'm okay, and he was squatting and hurting, and
I was sitting on my ankles, and my feet hurt last night, or the night before, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, the knee pad really helps.
Foam knee pad,
but
definitely.
Definitely, this is an easy process. I mean, anybody can do it. Transit, stick rule, and knee pad are huge helps. You got to have a transit to get this stuff right.
Right. And, you know, a lot of this kind of stuff, we've got a lot of tools. We do a lot of different stuff. So sometimes, you know, you might be better off paying somebody if you're never going to use these tools again.
Yeah.
For us, we've got a barn to build. We've got a shop to build. We want to put a lake out here. There's going to be some other grading.
All kinds of stuff. This is a very useful tool that we're going to use a lot until it breaks, and then we'll buy another one.
Right, and it's not going to break because we take care of stuff.
Right. Oh, another thing. On the grade stakes, there is another method that a lot of people do, and that is drive nails in at the depth that they want in the sidewall. Well, they actually did that when they did this process the first time when they dug it out, but we came to find that those nails, one, fell out because the sidewalls got so crumbly from all the rain we had. Additionally, if you bump them, they get knocked crooked, and they're not a surefire method. They
come loose really easy. So if you're in there using a rake to move concrete, and you bump them, they're coming out.
Yeah.
You know.
This rebar is in there solid. That's why we went with a 20-inch stake, and that's going to make all the difference in the world because it is a very secure method throughout the entire footing.
Costs a lot more than a box of nails.
Yeah.
But
for those of you wondering, we've got about $375 each, including delivery of the rebar to our house. So it's about $750 for both footings for all the rebar grade stakes and the rebar going in the footing.
Yeah, and we're going to do a rebar all the way through the footing, and that's included, including the chairs that you set it on that hold it up off the ground.
Yeah.
And the wire to tie it.
Yep. So you know, that's not that bad considering you are reinforcing your concrete tremendously with that rebar. We're doing a double run of ½ inch number 4 rebar throughout both our footings.
Right. We required a 12-inch by 6-inch.
No rebar footing.
And no rebar. So we're way overkill just with the concrete. And now we're adding rebar. But
we know there were stump holes out here. It's been 2 years since those stumps were dug up, roughly.
Or more.
Yeah. So we don't know exactly where those big stumps were. This helps reassure the fact that their concrete won't necessarily break in half.
Yeah, where those holes are. But everything's solid. I mean, it's all solid.
Yeah.
So we looked at it pretty good when we laid these houses off whenever we cut those trees.
We could tell there were a few deviations in the ground. We're like, that's where a stump probably was, and we adjusted accordingly.
Yeah. Well, and we dug it out so deep that it's not a problem. I mean, we dug out a lot right here.
Oh, yeah.
So
but that's about it.
Yep.
Next video, we should hopefully be laying some rebar with you guys and getting really close to concrete.
Yeah.
So hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, give us a big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to check us out on Instagram and Facebook. We're going to be posting a lot more there and a lot of photos as we go along because there's not always stuff that requires a big video about it. So photos and short videos will be coming there as well.
Yep.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
See you next time.